Hello, my name is Jeff Mandel, Director of Procurement Shared Services for PASHI. Thanks for taking time to learn more about PASHI and how an SDB or small disadvantaged business can find business opportunities with us. First of all, a bit of background about PASHI. We're comprised of 10 universities, 14 campuses spread throughout the state. We are the most affordable option for many students and have not raised our tuition for quite a number of years. And we're also very proud to have the nation's oldest HBCU at Cheyney University outside suburban Philadelphia. We produce about 26,000 career-ready graduates each year, and about 95% of them are employed within 2 years of graduation. Nearly 90% are in their field of study, and 72% find jobs within the state of Pennsylvania. We serve nearly 90,000 students from every region of Pennsylvania. And again, most of our students will stay in Pennsylvania after graduation. And our focus really is largely on middle and lower income students. My contact information, going back one slide, is right here, as well as our website. And within this page, you'll see various links of how to reach out to members of our team, Procurement Shared Services. The Doing Business with the State System link has instructions for registering in Ariba. We are really organized into 4 teams: materials, services, strategic sourcing, and construction. To date, we haven't had a formalized small or disadvantaged business program, at least as you would compare it to the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania's. And in our former SAP procurement system, we didn't really have a process for vendor self-identification and registration. But Ariba, which is our procurement platform, sometimes known as SourcePoint, does capture SDV submissions. As to construction, we do have a program where we have a reasonable effort to solicit, and that is established on a project-by-project basis with the targets set locally by each university. Our goals and objectives of PASHI are to support the promotion of inclusive, equitable, and socially responsible purchasing. We are committed to establishing mutually beneficial relationships with small, diverse businesses and identifying and enhancing supplier opportunities. It's our intent to increase the competitive landscape for the state system as business opportunities, and we believe that universities can achieve the best value when contracting for goods and services, and realize valuable cost savings. And so we basically have 5 tenets to advocate, which means to promote and strengthen the campus-wide understanding on the value of supplier diversity in the supply chain, to identify, which means to establish, promote, and maintain a database of certified small, diverse businesses, and to cultivate, which means to assist diverse suppliers to expand their knowledge of the state system, provide small, diverse businesses with training, and provide opportunities to build and improve relationships, which will allow for growth in the SDB sector. We'd like to introduce and facilitate mutually beneficial business relationships with SDBs our university procurement professionals and their business partners. And finally, we'd like to ensure alignment of procurement small business initiatives with the broader overall goals and objectives of creating and building sustainable relationships across the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. So in terms of what do we view as a small, diverse business, we basically follow in PASHE the same eligibility requirements as put forth by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania's Department of General Services Bureau of Diversity, Inclusion, Small Business Opportunities, and I've included a link to their guide and their requirements. In short, the business must be for profit, business must be independently owned, cannot be dominant in the field, cannot employ over 100 employees, and with the most recent governor's executive order, has raised the revenue threshold from 38.5 million to 47 million. So more small businesses can qualify and seek state contracting opportunities. So when you as a small diverse business register, you will have the opportunity to specify that you are an SDB and on the state's registration questionnaire. And so when one of our universities is ready to do business, an invitation to register will be sent to a given supplier or suppliers. How do you certify? First, it's important to note that certification is not a condition of doing business with the state system. We don't certify suppliers. We follow the same certification eligibility requirements as the state's Bureau of Diversity, Inclusion, and Small Business Opportunities. I've also included a link here as to their eligibility requirements. So if you're already registered with us, we'd like you as a small diverse business to confirm your information within our Ariba system. And so what action do you need to take? Basically, it's just confirm the information that's in there, and or if you have not already done so, upload your SDB certification or certifications. And this can be done through your Ariba network account. I've listed the link below as to where that can be done. Again, from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, listed here on this slide are the third-party SDB certification agencies by type of SDB or VBE. And on the right are their respective accepted proof of race, ethnicity, or gender. Again, on this page, I've listed here again the accepted third-party certification organizations for small, diverse, and veterans businesses. And much like the Commonwealth, what you see here is an actual screenshot from our Ariba system of the selection options that you will have when registering and identifying as a small, diverse business. Again, the definitions in Ariba are created to mirror those of the DGS program. And the questionnaire asks for the expiration date, and that is used to trigger a 90-day notification prior to expiration. So certificates that are issued in Pennsylvania are valid for 2 years. And when certification is 90 days out from an expiration, you will be prompted via email to upload a new certificate. Certificates are then reviewed by our supplier support team to make sure they are official and the information and dates are correct. And on this slide, I basically listed the steps to follow to register as a small, diverse business. And again, once you click on our how to do business with PASHE, the small, diverse business tab, you'll be presented with this screen below. which is some of the same content that I've already shared, including how do I find any solicitations that we have posted. So our team will not validate the documentation that's loaded to substantiate an SDB's self-certification at the time of registration, but we will make sure that it's updated and valid prior to the issuance of a contract or a purchase order. Again, our process and documentation mirrors exactly that of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Relatively recently, we've instituted an update to the Board of Governors policy on the procurement of goods and services and supplies, with new language that says, as part of its procurement activities, the state system is committed to creating a diverse and inclusive culture, not only within our student population, staff, and faculty, but also within our supplier base through the provision of increased access and opportunities to the procurement opportunities of the state system. And this has been approved. Again, this is a sample screenshot of what our AREBA registration questionnaire actually looks like, with particular focus on diversity indicators. So the first screen shows, are you a small or diverse business? Yes or no. And then it asks you to specify what type of SDB or veteran business you are, your certification date, the agency, and you select your certification type. So suppliers choose the type of small business for which they are certified. You may be certified as more than one type of business, but only one can be chosen for purposes of the questionnaire. And then an email will be generated by our AREBA system to you requesting certification. And if a certification isn't provided, the supplier must go back in and change the questionnaire from a yes to a no. You will continue to get emails asking for certification until it is provided. And again, certifications being good for 2 years will provide the SDB with 90 days advance notice prior to expiration. As to construction facilities projects, this slide basically shows the amount of money and contracts that we issued in the 22-23 fiscal year by university, nearly $54 million in total. And much like supplies and services, the objective of the SDB program for construction is, again, to promote and support involvement of small, diverse businesses and facilities contracts. And this includes both primes and subcontractors and suppliers. To quantify for what we call proactive solicitation, there is a reasonable effort to award amount, amount under contract for which competitive quotes can be reasonably expected to be obtained from SDB primes or subs and or suppliers. And again, those targets are set locally on a project by project basis, in consultation with both the project manager and the procurement team. And so this slide shows an example of what the evidence of the RIA submission, listing the number of firms, the names of the firms that were solicited, the scope of material, estimated value, whether the quotes were received, and whether any commitments were made. This needs to be submitted at time of bid, both for the primes and any subcontractors that were solicited and or commitments that were made. Appreciate your time. Again, if there's any questions, you can contact us on the webpage on the first page of the slide. And we look forward to working with you and hope you find our process to be easy to manage. And thanks for your interest in PASSHE and doing business with PASSHE.